My name is Athey, and I'm just absolutely delighted to welcome you all here. I think this is going to be a very important conference. You may know that given the facts, the American people want to cut the military budget. There was a study that was done, a poll that was done at the University of Maryland that they released in March, and the huge majority of people said, yes, we want to cut the military budget, and they wanted to cut it substantially. And most people don't even realize how absurdly high our military budget is. More than 9 times what China spends, more than all the other major powers combined, and in constant dollars, more than we spent during the Cold War, more than we spent during Vietnam, more than we spent during the Korean War, more than at any time since 1945. So our demand to substantially cut the military budget is the mainstream view. And the second demand of our coalition is that we want investment in programs and activities that put people back to work. We want investments in our people and in our country. We want nation building at home. So we live in a rich country and a rich state. So why is it that we have 133,000 children in Maryland living in poverty? Why do we have 750,000 people in Maryland without health insurance, meaning that they don't see a doctor when they're sick? Why are half of the bridges in Maryland in desperate need of repair? Why do we not protect the earth on which we live? Why are we making cuts to public health and schools and libraries and parks when we need and want all these services? The total deficit of all the states together is about $130 billion. This year, we're going to spend close to that just in Afghanistan and Iraq alone. And yet, the American people want us to get out of Iraq. 76% of people say Afghanistan, let's end that war. But the Pentagon is talking about an extended war there going on for many years. So we're going to be spending money there that we desperately need at home. And now, as you know, we've initiated a new war. Now, Maryland faces $1.4 billion projected revenue shortfall for next year. And Governor O'Malley proposes to address this shortfall by cutting services to the poor, cutting education, cutting housing, and by shortchanging teachers and other service providers. Are we not outraged at this?
Yes, we are.
Balancing the budget on the backs of the poorest among us and of those who serve us and teach our children. You know what? The Pentagon plans to build 2,443 F-35 aircraft, a plane that we don't need. Maryland's budget shortfall could be covered by 5 of those planes, or by bringing 1,400 soldiers home from Afghanistan. The current fiscal crisis of our country derives in part from decades of ever-escalating military expenditures. And while spending on the military has soared, the rest of our society is in serious decline. And public service workers are being scapegoated for these fiscal problems. It's time for a change, guys. Together, through this new coalition, we're calling for a reprioritization of our tax dollars. We want the nation's budget to represent the values of the people of our country rather than the interests of the military-industrial complex. But it won't be easy to cut military spending, nor will it be easy to change the prevailing myth that the only good government spending is military spending. Changing from a militaristic society to a caring society is a revolutionary goal. And we can only do it if we all work together, which is why you're all here today. And that's what we're going to be talking about, how we can achieve this. We also want to talk about how together the special messages of our separate organizations can be amplified. We'll talk about how we can support each other in achieving the objectives of our very different organizations. Together, we are much bigger than the sum of our parts. So, how we will accomplish this radical revolution is the theme of our conference today. So thank you very much for coming, and I'm looking forward to a really exciting day. And now I want to introduce Miriam Pemberton, who's our keynote speaker, and she's going to give us some background on the military budget. Miriam. And forgot to. She's nationally renowned budget expert and military expert from the Institute for Policy Studies, and we are very, very lucky to have her.